The IRS is conducting a full safety review of its facilities across the U.S. in response to increasing threats towards its workers. The threats have developed from conspiracy theories about the IRS following the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. The bill includes $80 billion for the agency. Some Republican lawmakers have falsely claimed that the IRS would distribute firearms to its employees and that new tax enforcement will target low and middle-income Americans. Those statements have expanded online. I want to bring in the national president of the National Treasury Employees Union, Tony Reardon. Tony, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. So you sent a letter to the IRS commissioner requesting an internal security review. Can you kind of tell us about the seriousness of these threats that you were seeing that essentially led you to write that letter?
Well, the reason that I put the letter together and sent it to the commissioner is because, over the last few weeks, through social media, on the floor of Congress and in other places, we have seen such an increase in the number of lies and the misinformation that's being told about the IRS and IRS employees. And, my number one concern is for the well-being and welfare, frankly, of IRS employees. And so I wanted to make sure that I touched base with the commissioner and asked him to do a full security review of IRS facilities around the country to ensure that my members and IRS employees are as safe as they can possibly be.
And do you have a sense of where these claims were coming from?
Well, I think, I've read in the news and heard from different people. They're coming, I think, from all over the place. But certainly, we have heard from members of Congress, sitting members of Congress, talking about, for example, that there are going to be 87,000 IRS agents armed, and they're going to be coming to your business or your home. And we all know, and I think they know, in fact, that nothing could be further from the truth. That is just completely inaccurate information. So I think it's coming from all different parts of our country. And I think it's important that we get that misinformation to stop, because what it does is it really targets civil servants unnecessarily and puts them at risk.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that, because what kind of safety measures do you want to see increased for IRS workers across the country?
Well, I think that's a great question. And I think the buildings, the actual workplaces need to be hardened. I think we need to look at making it more difficult to gain access to IRS workplaces for people who are not employees of the IRS. I think there needs to be a look at the security folks that are employed at the IRS to ensure that we have enough of them. And, it's those kinds of steps. We need better lighting outside of IRS facilities. There are a whole number of issues that I think can be addressed. But the other point I want to make is, following my asking the commissioner of the IRS to conduct a security look into the facilities. On this Tuesday, a couple days ago, he agreed to do that. And so I think it's going to be very important to see what that risk assessment shows. And certainly that may provide other things that need to be done to keep IRS employees safe.
Yeah, the idea of having lighting outside of buildings suggests that people are afraid of just walking into their offices. We've seen this a lot with public servants, especially election workers. They've been at the target of a lot of these attacks. You just kind of have to remind people that these IRS employees are essentially just doing their jobs. What message do you have for people that are giving these IRS employees grief for just doing their jobs? It's one thing to be mad at the IRS. It's another thing entirely to be going after actual workers.
Well, excellent point. And I think, it is important to remember that IRS employees are simply enforcing the tax laws that are put in place by Congress. These are civil servants who are your next door neighbor. Their kids go to the same schools. They shop in the same grocery stores. And importantly, the IRS and these employees are the ones who bring in 95% of our government's revenue. It is simply a fact that without a well-functioning IRS, our economy cannot function the way that it's designed to. So, these IRS employees, like anyone else, should feel safe in their workplace.
That's all we can ask, for sure. Tony Reardon, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate being with you.